Hello, hello.
Heyo. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic today. How are you doing?
Doing great. You're from Canada, right?
I am.
Happy Canada Day.
Thank you. Yeah, honestly, I had actually forgotten that this was Canada Day until I woke up and then I looked at my husband and I was like, "Oh, you're still here. You haven't gone to work." And he's just like, "Yeah, it's a day off." And I went, "Oh, I'm dumb." Okay. Fair enough. But yeah, thank you. And it's the 4th of July for you guys just on Thursday, right?
Right, yeah.
Well, if I don't speak with you then, happy 4th of July. I hope you
Thanks.
have good plans. Like whatever plans you have, light or small or heavy, whatever they are, I hope you have a great time. With that, let's get cracking. So, Melee. We've been talking off the record or off hours, I suppose, about about counterplay and just kind of this idea of trying too hard to assuming making assumptions about situations before they've played out in general. I wanted to ask, is that still what you want to continue working on, or do you have a new direction? Where are you at basically?
Uh I like a mixture of that and also have like these games versus Sheik
Amazing.
that I like to go over to that I played friendlies with this person about a week ago. I think their tag is Egg, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, Egg. Yeah, that name has popped
Okay.
up in tournament results and things when I've been skimming. They're good. Um, I think they're good. I haven't seen them play, but their name comes up a lot. I think. Anyway,
Okay.
send them my way, and we'll take it from there.
Sure.
Um, how do you feel while you're sending them over? Did you remember anything about the matches themselves that you want me to look for, or is it just yeah?
Um I think I guess we could like try to tie it into the conversation that we had prior to this lesson, where I think I'm just tunnel visioning, or even just sometimes I don't know how to explain it. I just feel like my brain shuts off, but I'm also overthinking things at the same time.
I think
And
you're.
you could,
I think yeah. It's almost like you're overwhelmed, right?
yeah, and I feel like I don't need to be. Like sometimes I think to myself, oh, it's melee, it's just a video game, and then I'm able to play fine, but that only works like 1 out of 100 times that I try that.
The
But
problem with the it's just a game is that I find it's just not an honest representation of where
right,
we're at in the moment. You know what I mean? So it's not like it isn't the reality is it isn't just a game to us. Like we care about the outcome and that's okay. But if we're not willing to be honest about that,
mm,
then all we're going to have happen is we're basically just gonna circle the drain a lot of the time, because that's the reality is we're struggling and we want something that will we want to feel like we're that struggle is real, it's recognized, but we're not giving ourselves that. So of course we it short circuits. I bet it probably works a lot better in low stakes matches, doesn't it? That
yeah.
approach, yeah. Not surprised. When
um,
when you're as ancient as me, you have seen all the adaptive or maladaptive coping habits that players have, so nothing surprises you anymore. So I don't mean that any of this disparagingly. It's just yeah, this is very normal. So
right.
don't feel bad about it. It just is what it is. We need it, but it does mean that we need a different approach.
Correct. I think for me, what I'm also mostly looking for is just ways of just getting over these mental barriers, or I just want to work smart with my mentality versus working hard about it, or just I don't know. It's just sometimes more. I used to never be this frustrated playing melee, and as of late, I've just been extremely frustrated.
As a Sheik player, I hate working hard for anything. So, I refuse to on principle. So let's go to the beginning of this and see what we got to work with.
Sure.
So I like the missiles. Feel that grab was a little early. Was this late in the session or
I would say midway through the session, yeah. It's like
okay?
3 or 4 games in, yeah.
So let me ask you: Was this grab because you thought that they would shield here?
Yes.
Okay, and it looks like we accidentally weak missiled instead of power missile, right?
That one, can we play that again? I'm pretty sure that was a power one, unless. Oh yeah, that was an accident, yeah.
Okay, cool. So does this grab work if we get the power missile, or is this just yeah.
Uh, Yeah, it's a tight timing. It's a guaranteed grab if I start the grab right before the missile touches the shield. Shield has 14 frames of hit stun
And Samus's grab hits on like 12 or something, right? Like your
on
13.
17.
Oh yeah,
So
yuck. Um,
yeah, it's
Okay, but basically it more or less works because yeah, she'd still have some startup time to work with from her jump squat. So it basically works if it hits the shield on the frame that she's like intending to like if you grab around the time that it hits the shield, then it basically works. So this is just a technical error. Fair enough. Let's move on then, because I'm not going to waste time on. I don't think it's productive to analyze, what we should do there. Now that second grab I think is a little bit more worth digging into. So talk to me about this one.
So this is something that I struggle a lot, especially against Sheik. So that fair that they do against my shield or my crouch cancel, I'm trying to call out I'm trying to call that out with a grab. Like after they do fair, they're gonna go into shield. So they do one fair there. I feel like they're gonna do another fair here, and they end up doing it because I'm crouching. So after that, I know they're gonna go into shield. So I'm trying to stop them from doing that. But it feels like it's so not in my favor ever.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I'm trying to figure out how to deal with this right here.
Oh. Yeah, no, let's dig into this. So, yeah, if you have more to add, go for it. All I was going to say is, as a Sheik, like, when I played Duck in this matchup, like, this is, I feel like, if he was trying to directly contest it, like, in his current position, like, he stopped doing that at some point, but when he was still doing that's when like it was generally easy to beat him. When he started doing other things, that's when it got hard. So I agree with you. We need a different solution here.
And the last thing I'll add to that too, it's just I try to crouch cancel down smash or down tilt or something, and it feels though I get blown up for that. If Sheik shields it, if Sheik ends up shielding after the fair, I'm like, all right, grab is like not that good, so it's just what do I even do? Like what do I even do that's just remotely just decent, because even if I do get the grab at this range, I'll probably get an F tilt at most, and that's it.
Yeah, it's not worth it. Like it's zero. No, definitely not. So let's draw some shapes. Would you say that this is roughly where Sheik's fair hits with her like hitboxes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that kind of hits like down and in front of her. Maybe not that low, but maybe to like here. So with that in mind, I'm just going to do some coloring. While I'm doing that, here's what I want from you. How long is Sheik's fair out for? It's not out for like a long time, right? It's just out for a bit?
Yeah.
So what if you're like, maybe crouching is part of the problem. Because you're making, or, well, not part of the problem, but maybe the crouching isn't a full solution on its own. Like, here's what I'm thinking. If Samus is standing up, like, normally, she's about this high, right?
Right.
Yeah, and then she's got her visor and her, like, big shoulder pads. Yay, Samus. So, you can see that there's a pretty big height distinction between these two character models. One's really tall, one's really small. So if Sheik wants to aim for you when you're standing here, what happens if you then crouch as she gets close because she wants to hit you for standing up?
She's gonna misspace it.
Yeah, so then we can do what?
Probably telegraphed if I'm already crouching.
Yeah, we've taken away we've taken away part of the high-low mix-up. So that's one thing. The other thing I would say here is if we start in crouch, she has to wait a bit to like hit us, right?
Right.
What if we like Samus's jump is fast? What if we like short hop fared, or like full hop fared?
You're right. Yeah. No, that is actually, especially at 0, I've been told to like always do that against Sheik.
Yeah. So what we're doing is we're trying to like, is she aiming for here or here? And that's informing our decision.
Oh, okay.
The other cool thing you can do is you don't even have to stay here. What else? What if you wanted to move? Where could you move?
I could just wave dash underneath her.
Under her
or through her.
Under her, through her. Yeah, like there's lots of options here. So let's figure some of those out. So let's say we go here. Let's say like Samus's wave dash can go to about here, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. And we can shorten it if we want to. So we could also like with a different color. We could stop here maybe, like if we wanted to. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's the first. Let's use a darker one. While I'm fixing this, can you think of any reason that we might have to do the shorter one, or do you think that the longer one is generally better? Like, which of these are we doing usually?
I would personally do the longer one just to like maintain center. Because if she lands on me, then she could just go for a grab, right?
Center schmenter. We're Samus. We can play we can hold most positions because that's one of our character's strengths. We don't really worry about that. I don't want to worry about center. It's you're not wrong, but I feel like it's a weak reason relative to other things.
Okay.
What I'm thinking, she's at 0, and our down smash hits like here, and her legs are exposed when she fares. So we wave dash here, turn around, and then down smash her before she lands. Because we're not under threat of being hit. Because we're behind her. She's fair.
Okay.
Right? Because like your down smash basically hits like this. So if we get behind her and she's attacking forward, then like, we're fine. Does that make sense?
No, that makes complete sense. I think, to add on to what you're saying too, I think a part of the issue for me is, I guess, recognizing this position. And then once I'm able to recognizing it, then being able to react to it. So it feels though for me to do something like this would probably take a little while of just ironing out.
Yeah, so here's the thing.
Like it's just...
okay, so how do we think we solve that?
I guess by playing the game or just by looking over VODs?
Yeah, but here, I'll give, so the problem here is we're already in a process, right? Like, this is not the first step of like, recognizing this situation. This is, like, the second or third step, because there were things that happened before this that indicated what the Sheik was doing. So let me ask you, what did Sheik do? Like, what things happened before this situation came up? Can you think of any? If not, we can always just play back the tape.
Yeah, Sheik just did a full hop, pretty much.
Right, and she full hopped this way, right?
Towards me, yes.
So what happened before the full hop?
Yeah, why don't we watch that again? Yeah.
Sure. Did you see it? Let's slow it down a bit further.
Okay.
Because this is important. Let's do 50%. So you go for grab, you get down throw, whatever.
I whiffed the fair. Yeah.
So she went for, what she went for is, she went for an aerial, went on her way up, and she went for a full hop aerial after a missed down throw, and then she wound up above you. So then this would have been we crouched, now we're in the situation. So if Sheik misses a full hop fair, and winds up above us, that would be how we wind up here.
Okay.
Do you see how...
Yeah, I think... Yeah, if I would have just jumped at her with the fair, I probably could have gotten that damage.
Yeah, probably, but here's the thing. Like, the point of us of rewinding here is not to, like, just understand that, like, we could have hit her. It's more to understand that this is when she gets into this spot where we actually have a lot of counterplay on her. Do you see how that works out? Because it's like...
Yes.
Because it's like, it all starts with the full hop fair. That's what cues that she's now out of position here, as long as we didn't get hit by it.
Right, okay.
Because this could also happen if we blocked that fair, couldn't? Like, the full hop... like, instead of getting grabbed, if we had, like, shielded and she, like, full hop faired our shield going up, that's another way we could be in that position, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Or if we crouched under it and she, like, full hop fared because she thought we were going to jump, or, like, we were, like, screwing around with these platforms or something and she, like, tried to hit us up here. Like, there's a lot of ways this could happen. But the point is, although that would be a little different because we have platforms nearby for her, but, like, you see what I'm getting at. By us understanding that this is how this situation happened, we'll be better at recognizing when it does happen because we now have, like, a process for how this happens. Instead of it just being, like, the moment, like, the thing comes up, we now have, like, we have like, something that precipitates it. There's an action that is before Sheik is above us, and we have to, like, outmaneuver her.
So let me just get this right. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So the issue that I'm having with is when Sheik fares me, she can just enter shield before I'm actionable. And so what you're saying is pretty much I can already play or have counterplay before I even get to that situation, right?
So what I'm saying is that the problem here, with this situation, the problem that we're having is recognizing that Sheik is in this position where we actually have a lot of stuff we can do about her. Because she's once she's falling down from about this height, she has to decide if she's aiming up here or down here. She can't do both. She generally can't do both.
Interesting. Yeah.
So, unless she kneels or something. But, yeah, that's slow. So, don't worry about that. With that in mind, what I am saying here is, we have the option because she has to aim here or here, and she has to pick what side she's hitting on, because she can't swing everywhere. We have the option to, go through her. We have the option to, attack her on the way up like this with our fair. We have the option to, crouch under and go down like this, and then, potentially crouch, punish her with down smash. We have a lot of things that basically work here. In some capacity, if we make a small corrective call on how she's coming in. And we also have the option to outposition her by just moving out of the way. The key is understanding how she gets into this spot, because when she's in this spot, we have ways of fighting back. So what we identified is that full hop fair is what starts this. This is the first step of how this this is one of the first steps of how this spot can happen. Because she full hops fairs up here, and then that's how she winds up here relative to us, as long as her fair misses us on the way up.
Got it.
Does that make sense now, or do we explain it back to me?
Sure. So, essentially, depending on my position or whether or not I'm crouching or standing, she has to aim at one of those, and I could just make it a little more difficult for her to aim, and I could also choose where I want to be relative to where she is aiming, pretty much. And I could choose to either fair, I could just wave dash through her, and I just have more options than I think. Crouching isn't the end all be all here, which is what I thought it was.
Yeah, and how do we know that this is the situation that's coming up? What does she do that tells us that we should do? What's one of the things that she might do that tells us that we're in this situation?
She full hopped and she drifted towards me.
Correct. Usually, she'll have to full hop and fair, or full hop near. She'll have to full hop and then commit to something. Maybe even needle store would count. But yeah, she has to full hop and do something moving forward. Perfect.
Right.
Love it. Let's move on. So, I bet... Actually, let's tie this... No, let's be thorough. So we're going to tie this actually back into the thing that we've been talking about. If you had more of these things that indicate to you what is going on, do you think that there would be as much pressure on you to try to force or anticipate what the counterplay required for the situation is? Or do you think that you would naturally just adjust to it?
I think I would anticipate it until I can get it down, and I think it'd be a few weeks of me just building it into my
sure.
I guess just putting it into my brain.
Sure, but assuming that you have the execution on the things that you're going for,
right?
Because I think that part of what you're describing is, at least, and correct me if I'm wrong, because if I'm misremembering or don't have this right, fair enough. But I got the impression that you do have the execution on a lot of it, but you're still trying to anticipate anyway.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm saying is even if all those things are still true, we still have the level of execution. If we had better tells that guide us to which one we're supposed to do you think that you would respond more accurately?
I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's look for more of those spots as we go through these. Like that down smash. I like the choice of that wave dash back down smash. Let me see here. So. Oh, you walked forward a bit. Talk to me about the walking forward.
Sure. Yeah. I just felt like I might have been out of range with that down smash, and I just didn't want to get whiff punished just in case I was out of range.
Okay.
So I would also say it's kind of a habit too because I've just been whiff punished so much doing that down smash.
Okay.
So yeah, I tend to just walk forward for a frame or two.
Gotcha. So there's one problem here, and it has to do with frames.
Right.
How much time do you think? What do you think the window is on Sheik's fair to punish it when she L cancels?
I would assume it's about 7 or 8 frames.
It's 8 frames.
Okay.
When does your down smash hit?
6.
Right. So if we're walking forward for 3 frames,
I could be a frame off. Okay.
that's exactly what happens. Look.
Oof. Yeah, because wow. Okay.
Right? Like it's right there. It's because yeah.
I'm in my mind. I'm like, wow, they're power shielding this. Wow.
No,
But in
that's
reality,
all.
I'm just a
That's
frame
all
late.
you. No, that's all you. They literally just held block, and you like, and because you delayed the down smash, it sank into the shield. That's it.
So if I'm not in range, I'm probably better off just not even using down smash. Would you say, or
Yeah, like because there's other conditioning that you can play there that it's like
Okay.
that's effective. So like, let's talk about that. So let's say we're gonna pretend since we know that we can't walk forward on these punishes, we're just gonna assume that we don't. Like just that out of the way. If we know that we're out of range here and we're walking forward as if we're going to down smash, what on a scale of 1 to 10, how likely is it that you think the Sheik shields?
like a 9 out of 10, pretty much.
Right. So what could we do with that conditioning instead? Let's pick something that isn't quite as risky as grabbing. But like,
Yeah.
how could we like turn this situation into our favor?
One thing I've seen other Samus mains do is either I could wave bomb through the shield and get center, or I could just skip the bomb. I could just wave dash through her and get her back.
Yeah, like you don't even
And just
necessarily
rush
have.
her. Yeah.
I'm not even sure you necessarily have to wave dash. Like something that Duck did that I really liked was like point blank dash attack.
Oh right. Yes.
Yeah, like that's a like I don't know how that one stopped being used because it's so good, but like whatever, it's fine. But like if this is Sheik's, no, that's too nice. We'll give her pink. Cool. So if this is Sheik's shield and we're Samus and we just like book it like forward like this, I feel like this is actually pretty from this position. This is actually pretty threatening because we have the option to like dash attack her like on this side, like starting it about here or like maybe around here actually. So we kind of like propel ourselves through it because shields also take reverse hits, which is I don't know if you knew that, but they do. Did you know that actually?
No.
Yeah, so like there's a line that divides the shield. I'm not being very precise with it. Let's try to fix this. Yeah, so it's about here. Like it just cuts the shield down through the middle on the character model. And if we hit this side of the shield, we basically like it kind of like if we hit this side of the shield, we're basically pushing the shield this way, right? But if we hit this side of the shield, we're pushing the shield against the shield that way. So that's part of why Samus propels herself so hard when she like crosses up on when she does the point blank dash attack because it's hitting on the other side. So like the forces are pushing them apart. You might have seen this with like Dr. Mario's down smash where it like sometimes sucks you in, or like Luigi's where it sometimes sucks you in if he's close to you, but then if he like hits you further out, you like fly apart from each other. That's why that happens.
Interesting. Yeah, because this is a dash attack I do go for every now and then, but I just never understood the mechanics of it. I just went for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool, huh?
It's pretty neat.
Yeah. So like this would be one option that we could do. I think that the wave bomb makes a lot of sense here, like going for the explosion here. How do you feel about wave landing? Like instead of dashing, what if we hopped up to the platform and like went over and around her, kind of like with this motion? Do you think there's any merit to that or nah?
Personally, I can't think of any. I think I'm putting myself in like a worse spot. At least against Sheik, where she is right now, I feel like they can just kind of aerial me from below, and I can't think of anything I can do that can either counter that. I don't know. I feel like I'd be taking free damage.
Okay. What if we stopped at the edge of the platform because we could just teeter and shield?
Right. But
I know that these aren't as good options. It's more to get you to think about what we actually have available. So
Right.
it's not like, to be clear, I'm not recommending this option, but it's more of a thinking exercise for what other things we can do here, because we need to know what our moves are. Like if we don't know what our moves are, how can we make the right one, right?
Right.
So
Like I think if I went there and I shielded in time, she could probably just hit me off the platform too.
how?
Um, can't they just fair it or up air it and I just
If you're
slide off or
Wait, if you're shielding on the platform because you teeter here, because
yeah.
teeter cancel gets rid of the waveland lag, so you're going to be like teetering into shield, like that's very quick. If she jumps up and fairs you, would you not just like slide off this way,
Right, yeah.
and then you'd like back air her?
Um, I guess I need to see it. And I'm not sure if the back air would actually hit.
Okay, fair
Yeah,
enough. Like,
I think I've been in this situation.
how do you think she
And
jumps? I think that's like the big thing I'm missing.
hmm.
Because she can't dash jump. She has to jump like here, or here, or here.
Like I guess short hop. Well, no, not even. I guess it's just a short hop in place or a full hop in place, fair or something.
Yeah. And I feel like if she pushes our shield off this way and she jumps
And
up
if she's
with...
not drifting, yeah,
Yeah, like that can definitely work. Do I think it's as good as these other things? Absolutely not. But I think it's worth consideration, because there will be points in the match where she's going to be incentivized to like the thing about the things over here is that none of them are kill moves. So like
right.
if she's at 120, this might, and we're at like 30, this could actually make a lot of sense, because if we get the nair, then she dies. But like if we get like dash attack, she might not. She probably just popped up and like has a recovery. Maybe 130 is the wrong percent. Like maybe it's more like around 90. But you get what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like depending on the goals of our particular position and game state, that can steer us towards maybe a less maybe like a slightly less consistent line, but one that like does exactly what we want upon if it's successful.
And you had mentioned something earlier about Samus being able to play any position well. I kind of actually want to touch upon that.
Sure.
Where, we were just going over me in the corner, me down smashing in the corner. Personally, when I'm in the corner, I'm just like, especially against a character like Sheik, I feel like I'm just fearing for my stock. I feel as though like there's not much I can do because I can't roll through. So I guess I'm trying to figure out ways to just get out.
Don't you have like an 11 frame aerial interrupt and like several recovery resources? I feel like you can just...
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
So I guess with like the aerial interrupt, I can get up to 11 frames, but she's still stuck in place. Whereas her ledge dash at best, I can get 4 frames if I'm brain perfect. But that doesn't seem that good.
Right, but like, here's my question. You're saying you're stuck in place if you have like 11 frames of Galint, but my question would be what does she do? Like, how does she directly contest that?
So I guess what I'm trying to say is when I'm directly in the corner and I do get my 11 frames there, assuming I get all 11 frames, she could still cover the area right in front of me. So let's say she's standing right below, like where your mouse cursor's at, pretty much. Or
okay, so let's just assume,
yeah, so
so here, let's draw a diagram here and then like explain to me where Sheik is. So if you're aerial interrupting onto the stage here, where is Sheik relative to you? That's scary.
Right. So yeah, right about there. Let's say Sheik is just standing there.
So on the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
doesn't your down smash just hit her here?
Not from there. I'd have to be a little closer.
But you could forward tilt or something, right? Like you can't, she is hittable, yes?
Yeah. And I guess like, I guess it's contextual, but like if she's at 0% or like below 40%, F tilt could be crouch cancelable and she could probably reversal that. Or yeah, maybe I'm just thinking about it too much, but I feel from here, if I go for, okay, AI down smash and I whiff, she could get a grab pretty much. And I'm trying to prevent Sheik to get the grab. I could go ledge hop fair. I feel that's punishable too a lot of the times. If I try wave dashing through, she covers that space with like F tilt or her tilts. Or if I do AI into shield, which is like a popular option, I feel like she can just run up to me and like just dash grab me pretty much.
So
So I mean, I know they're not going to always do these options, and there's more to it, but it feels like more often than not, I'm just getting hit a lot in the corner, and I feel as though I'm trapped, and I'm trying to figure out what I can do. I guess it's going to be difficult. I can't find one or two reliable options. I have to use everything that's available to me.
let's
But it
focus.
feels though like when I'm trying to, at least in my head, I'm like, all right, well, they're calling out my AI shield, so let me AI down smash there. Boom, my AI down smash, and they just avoid it completely. So I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing that's wrong.
I think we're focusing too much on what we want to do and not enough on what they want to do.
Interesting. Okay.
So like let's break this down. So what is something common that Sheik does here to try to pressure you when you get up?
Sure. Uh, if I get up into shield, they'll go for grab. If I spot dodge, they'll down smash me there. Or from where they're standing right now.
one thing at a time, one option.
Okay.
Like let's just do it one option at a time. So we have, she will go for what was the first one we listed?
Dash grab
Okay.
or dash attack cancel grab to be exact.
We'll just say like grab, because like
Okay.
it's all the same. Like she's basically grabbing without a bait in front. Okay, cool. So that's one. What's something else she might do?
Just short hop in place
Into what?
into fair.
Cool. Short up fair. Nice. What's something else?
Short hop onto platform.
Okay, go to plat. And then what's something else? Let's add one more to this list.
Sure. Like dash attack sometimes. Although that I don't think that would be too good, but that does.
We'll add
happen.
one more for dash attack, so DATK. Let's say how about like on one of her ground pokes, like F tilt, down smash.
Oh yeah.
I feel like
F
tilt and down smash, like cool. So
Yeah.
we'll do F tilt. So with all these in mind, let's now start like using the like planning a little bit. So if she's standing right here and we get up here and we like we aerial interrupt onto the stage immediately, and as we are doing the aerial interrupt, we see, or like double jumping for it, we see that she is still on the ground. The question here I'd have is, what options can we cross off this list? Like in terms of the things we have to be afraid of. We'll actually go throw in shield too. Well, yeah, shield. We'll put that in too.
You know, I never thought about this before. Okay.
So, okay. So what is different? Like, so what are you noticing as you're thinking about this from this angle, from what they want to do?
Sure. Can you give me the scenario just one more time?
Yeah, so Sheik, so you recover here. Sheik is still standing on the floor. She has not presented
Yes.
her shield. So what is that? What things can we like? What things are going to be difficult for her to do?
Interesting. So once I land there, I guess they have to react to what I'm doing, or they have to anticipate it, right?
Yeah, because this is a really fast
So
interaction. This is happening real quick, and you're invincible. So, like, they have to have their mind made up pretty much, like, around the same time you do when you're coming up. So, my question is knowing that, if they're just standing here and they're not presenting their shield, what thing, like, and they haven't jumped, what things are going to be very difficult for them to do here?
right. So if they haven't jumped yet, like
Yeah, like this, probably.
no, and obviously shielded not presenting it yet.
Yeah. So what else? What else could they? It's like, so it's really this. Like they're not dashing either, so probably this is off the list. Like this is what they have to
Yeah.
work with.
Of
So
tilt and grab. Yeah.
so with that in mind, maybe because shield comes out on frame 1, I'm okay with including it. Like I'm okay
Okay.
with including it in our list. These both have startup time, so absolutely not. But yeah. So with these three options, what makes sense here? Like what things can potentially make sense here?
She'll either go for the grab or the tilt slash down smash.
Yeah, or shield,
And
because we've clarified shield
right.
comes out on 1. So, yeah, so I would say that, yeah, like, let's add down smash here, because it does technically have, like, it doesn't have complete overlap with the things that beat forward tilt, because of the, like, forward tilt loses a spot dodge, down smash doesn't, for example. So
Right.
with that in mind, what would be good against these, these 4 options that you could
So
do?
against F tilt and down smash. If I I could also AI down smash. Or if I'm late, I could either shield it or crouch cancel, either or. Although shielding down smash could be a little tricky because I'll just slide off again if I'm not shielding on it.
I feel like
Yeah, I
shield.
mean,
I feel like shield is not the solution here, just because even if we shield F tilt, we don't really have anything after that, right? So,
right.
And it's not good versus down smash. It's not good versus grab, and it's not good versus shield. So I think shield is out.
Interesting. Okay.
Like shielding on our end is out. It doesn't do anything for us. It's interesting because I bet you probably like to shield coming up, don't you?
Yeah, this is like a habit that I do in a lot of other matchups. So now I'm thinking about it. I'm like, oh, maybe this is why I'm getting blown up by grab and down smash in the corner.
Oh, it's almost like when we think more about from their perspective, we can choose our options more wisely. So I'm going to help you out here. I find it interesting that we are discounting the option to move when we have invincibility, when we have 11 frames of Gallant. Like, what if we dash attacked?
Interesting. So that's okay.
Right? Like, it's not as crazy as it sounds. Like, what if we potentially like short up Naird?
Oh, that's actually one that I do use. I use short hop forward air a little more often.
But I like Nair for its chunkiness. Because we want to get her out. We want to like hit her hard. We want to get her. We don't want to deal with her. So like, if we think about short up Nair, like it's good on this. It's good on this. It's good on this. The only thing it's like not super good on is this, but we still go through her, so we shouldn't probably get shield grabbed. Right. So this is like bad, but like it's okay. But like on this, we have check mark. We have check mark. We have check mark. That's not so bad.
Okay.
Like, do you see? And you see how we got there, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what I'm saying here, like, so I would say, and we don't have to, like, do this the entire session, because I think that, like, it's important that we keep going through the match, but, like, I would really recommend thinking about, like, more about, like, what the opponent's options are and what we want to do, like, in response to that, as opposed to just, like, fixating on what our powerful moves are, because... yeah, you can do your powerful moves, absolutely, they're quite good, but, like, against more refined game plans that are, like, trying to cover your good options, and I assure you, if there's one thing that Sheiks like to do, it's cover good options, yeah, like, you're gonna find that just kind of, like, hammering away with your strongest stuff has diminishing returns, because it doesn't capture the reality of the situation, it doesn't really capture the reality of what you're up against. And I think what we're also seeing is that there's a lot of overlap in terms of what types of things are good against other things. Like grab, F-tilt, and down smash are all fairly stationary options. So a move that like contests them with invincibility is actually very good. No, like, and doesn't offer a clank is naturally going to be really good against that. So that's why the Nair works. Yeah.
Okay.
Is this making more sense, or is it...
No, it's making a lot of sense now, yeah.
Cool. Okay. Let's talk about this stock. So you respawn against Ninja Lady. So walk me through, like, what the plan is. Like, what are you going for on this?
Starting
like,
from here.
Yeah, what are you going... What's your, like, game plan with these missiles? What are you trying to get her to do? Is it that? Like, jump, basically?
Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to just get her off the platform pretty much, like not let her charge her needles.
Gotcha. That makes perfect sense. So once you get her off the platform, what is the plan here? Like hit this fair convert?
For me, I try to use fair to get her to around, I guess, like knockdown percent, like 50-ish percentage. Because if I hit her with Nair, she's not going to go anywhere. She could get a reversal. Okay. And playing around in the air and just playing with my drift, I'm able to just fair her, get like 15 to 23 damage, and just reset back to neutral pretty much.
Okay.
Is how I think about it. That, and also to let them know that they can't play those spots for free.
Is it you can't combo Nairs together, but like at around like 30?
No. It's kind of tricky. But if I were to Nair her, like where she was, like right off the platform there, if I were to Nair her, she could probably get something off of it. Okay. I mean, maybe At 20, I know at 20%, like she could probably get a reversal. At 30ish, like, it's like a little more ambiguous.
She is stunned for a long time by if she's nared here. Like I just pulled it up on INI data, and she's stunned for like 30. She's stunned for 32 frames. Like that's quite a bit. Like how long is your nair out for?
Nair, oh man,
It's okay. This is what
get like about 12 frames, I think.
Sorry, let me be clear. Do you know when nair completes? Like when we can do a different move out of it? Like when it's interruptible, basically.
Oh, I think it's a 40 frame move.
35 and hits on 5, I think, right? Yeah. So no, we have time to nair twice.
Okay.
Because we're hitting on 5 and it's completing on 35, so that's 30. So yeah, like we're very like she technically has like 2 or 3 frames to like get something out, but like yeah, it's not much time. This can work. If you hit on like literally on like the third or even second active frame, then yeah, you're probably fine.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So, I'm asking this because I think that's the type of like spot where not nairing is actually like not knowing that you have a move that works earlier can actually really bite you. Because you're talking about like having to start going for nairs at like 60, but like I'm saying you can go for them as early as like 31 if you do them right. And I think that's like a very big difference in terms of your overall hit consistency when you're punishing her, because nair is a much more reliable tool than fair because it's just not susceptible to smash DI and her falling out of it, right? So that's big for me. I would and the thing is, like, when you do get like the combo going, like you do a great job with it. Like this is great pressure. Love this dash attack. The choices that you make, like to punish that up air, like fantastic. Like I love, like once you get the ball rolling, I love what I'm seeing. But we need to be getting the ball rolling sooner than like 60%.
Interesting.
Like, see what I mean? Like, okay, so that one was just like we mistimed it, but like this is the kind of stuff that I would like, that I live for. On that note, let me ask you something. We can move on this frame. What do you think about stomping again here?
Interesting. Like up tilt? Or, oh no, my bad, down air?
Yeah.
It's something I actually tend to do. I see Super do it all the time, but when I'm just, I don't know, like if depending on who I'm playing against, I try to avoid it every now and then because of slide off.
So can she slide off? Can she slide off of down air here? Like if she like at 46?
If she, actually, I don't know how the percentages work when it comes to slide off.
That's okay. So
I'm sorry, good.
The reason I'm asking is I value the stomp moves much more highly right now because you have a beam. So like my thinking here is like if we get a clean pop-up like around like 50-60, like she's just dead. So I'm trying to think of ways that we can make that happen.
Interesting.
Right? Because
yeah, so if I did
yeah, go ahead.
If I did do another one that could potentially just combo and potentially kill her. I guess my worry, and this is something I think about often, especially when it comes to better players, is just if you detect to the left or right and she goes for the slide off, then I just get nothing for it.
Okay.
So in my mind, my thought process was in this moment, oh, I get the down smash, at least I put her off stage and I could look for my rinse and repeat. I could get my damage, potentially. Or I could go for, hey, she's going to up B back to stage. That's when I could shoot her, or I could go for another reversal.
True. So, like, you're thinking we down smash her, we put her up, like, she either goes up here or over here. Both of those are good. Right. We can still beam her on the way down, or, like, back air her, or set up, like, an edge guard where we can do it. Okay, all of that makes sense. No problem with that. But you see why I'm, like, asking about the stomp? Because it's, like, if she was maybe, like, she probably can't slide off if she's, like, what, like, 25% higher? Like, if she was at, like, 80?
Yeah.
Like, I think we can both generally agree she can't do that unless she's, like, TAS or something. So, with that in mind, it's like, at that point, Yeah, it's just pop her up and blow her up.
I have to look into how slide offs work. I had no idea it was like percent dependent.
Yeah, because it's based on knockback. Because what's
Yeah.
happening? Yeah, what's happening with slide off is there's a weak like ASDI, like the weak smash DI input, is basically holding your character's frame close to the platform, it's hugging the platform, and then you're going off with from knockback. But you see, like that would be a spot where I would say we always down air here, especially with this like amazing this amazing stall. Like she's just like Omega dead. Yeah. Also, just so another thing. Remember, I don't think she. So she did touch the platform. Cool. What happened? Like, so why up tilt here? Talk me through that one.
Can you replay it? I think I know why, but I just want to like watch it one more time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so sometimes I just like to cover them just fairing or back airing me as they're trying to grab the ledge.
Okay, fair enough. So
that was just me preemptively just covering that. Although it probably would have been better to just hold ledge against Sheik usually.
Yeah, I was going to say, there's two other plays that make a lot of sense here. The first one is, we know, like, when Sheik falls from here into this position, we're going to make one of those handy-dandy things.
Yeah.
Because this is a really important one. So let's start by establishing what step one is. Step one is when she falls from, like, being hit from here to here. Because, like, she was hit, like, all the way over there. Like, from here. So now she wound up here. From stun, she drifted forward, and now she's, like, in this spot. She has her jump. So this is all step one. So with this situation, my question here is, where does Sheik have to go? Where does Sheik have to go in order to recover?
So she has to, like, double jump, and she has to upbeat towards the ledge, pretty much.
She can make it back with just her double jump, but she has to, like, basically go through... Like, if we drew it, she has to go basically through, like, this kind of area, right?
Right.
So, let me ask you, is up tilt the best move at covering that area?
No.
What are better moves?
What I usually do here, when I recognize it, it's not always. Sometimes I recognize it too late. I'll just do a runoff nair, and that usually just kills them.
Yeah, because they have to. It hits.
Yeah.
Like nair hit is a big like leg that hits this box, and we can aim it differently and put it in different ways. So nair just like absolutely. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this. So absolutely, highly recommend that. I think that's the best play that you can do. Let's say that we're more conservative. We're maybe at like 200%. We can't afford to take a trade on her fair or something like that. Like maybe we're on Battlefield. Who knows? But with that, and with this new other hypothetical, where she's still here, she still has to recover through the box. What else can we do?
Grab ledge.
Yeah. So that would be plan B. So, like, plan B is we grab edge, we're Samus, we're here, like, we're happy, and then we're invincible. So we can kind of, like, make a lot, like a different box, like a different box of death, which we'll denote with red. Because this is kind of like your ledge hop near area, right?
Yeah.
And then you also have the option to back air and such, which covers, like, slightly further out, so you have, like, influence maybe around this kind of territory. So we're still covering the box, like, fairly effectively, right? Not as, like, effectively as nair, which, like, covers as, like, runoff nair, but, like, we're still doing things. We're still, like, controlling the edge. We've still boarded that off so she can't, like, use it. Like, this is still doing all the things, all our goals of the matchup. And so is this. Because we're also not letting her have the ledge in that case.
Right. Okay.
So, the key here is understanding that once she, like, passes a certain point, like, from being hit over here, where does she have to go through? This game is really about, like, what paths do my opponent have to take? Like, if I had to say one lesson that really does not get captured in a lot of, like, modern teaching, it's just... We don't think about, like, where the opponent has to go. We just start thinking about what things we want to hit. But, like, the things that we want to hit are usually the byproduct of where the opponent has to go.
Right. So would you describe it as, like, placing roadblocks?
Yes.
Okay.
On edge guarding, absolutely, because in neutral, there's one key difference between edge guarding and neutral, and that's in neutral you can stand still, but in recovery, if you stand still, you die.
Have to move. Yeah.
You die. Like. So I know we're probably not going to get through the second game, but do you think that there's enough? Like, there's been things to work on from this one?
Oh, there's plenty of things to work on.
I feel like Go ahead.
I think I'm just giving myself like ghosts that I'm afraid of, because I noticed I used to not be as bad versus Sheik, but after just overthinking and overcomplicating how I think about it, that, and also you mentioned earlier how I'm overthinking my own options, and I've noticed that that's. Excuse me, that I'm overthinking my own options, not thinking about my opponent's options.
Yeah.
And I think that's the trap that I've fallen into as a play, because I'm not just doing this against Sheik. I think I'm doing this against other characters as well.
Yeah. I also want to point something out. Look at how long you've been on the ledge, and you've been completely fine this whole time. So, I can't play the corner. Like... Because she doesn't want to come over and get down smashed and die. Like, she has her goals too. It's a scary move. Like, it forces... The thing about Samus's moves is that while they are, like, lots of them are exploitable in certain ways, at the end of the day, they're still pretty powerful. Like, the powerful ones are very powerful. And she's a pretty flexible character as far as, like, her having, like, a good set of aerials, a good, good normals and footsie tools. She's got projectile elements. Her recovery's not bad. Like, she's got a really, really, like, jack-of-all-tradesy kit, minus the fact that her grab sucks, and she doesn't have a real roll. But, like, with that in mind, like, as long as she's in actual neutral, she's pretty difficult to crack. Yeah. Great missiles, by the way. I love how this is kind of, like, becoming, like, the mood versus Sheik, like, versus characters on FD. I've always thought, like, that the fast fall missiles are, like, really good.
Yeah. I would say I wasn't able to do them until I got my fob.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, like, so... but you're just describing most Fox players with their tech skill, so it's fine. Oh,
okay. That's so funny. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I'm so privileged nowadays, and then Fox mains are just...
They literally made, like, an entire rectangle
like
for him.
Yeah.
They, like, pardon the pun, but, like, they kind of opened Pandora's box. Like, there's no turning back from it. But I honestly, I think that, like, more tech skill... This will sound weird, but I think that more tech skill on other characters actually, like, has a more damaging effect to him, which is healthy for the game, by the way. But, like, it's actually more damaging to him because he's not getting... Like, the margin he's increasing are not as big as, like, the other characters because he's already kind of, like, had a lot of refinement in his execution methods because of his sheer population. But, like, when we make accessibility for everyone else who doesn't have that advantage, like, that's actually a big deal. I think that's part of why Donkey Kong and Samus are doing better lately.
Yeah. Like, Morse code, I don't think people talk about how technical he is. And some of the things he's doing is just... It just happens, like, right then and there. I don't know if you've, like, spoken or played J-Chew, but his, like, up Bs, his zips are just so precise.
Oh, I've played him on ranked a few times, and I've taken a game from him with Nest. Let's go. But yeah, no, I know what you mean though. Like he won the set. Like I'm not. Yeah, he's good. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure if he's a box player, but he's, I don't know, the most precise Pikachu I've ever played.
Yeah. So I think that what we have here is like a good example of like how we kind of like fall into these traps because we're basically just swinging at her, right? You see what I mean? Like we get this, we just assume, but like what we now know from like the previous match we looked at, her jumping above us is not like the opening if we're playing on the ground, if we're like planning on dealing with her from the ground, and preying on her like on how she has to aim at us when she comes in. Her jumping up like this is just the first step, where we need her to be, like, falling before we actually decide on our play.
Okay.
And you can see, like, how that different, like, understanding that, like, that her full hop differently there just, like, completely changes how we, like, play the next bit, like, this entire stretch. Because, like, we don't, like, go for that thing that gets us hit. And, yeah, like, this entire stock is different. So let me ask you, this is a thing I noticed that y'all do, and I've always been curious about it. So Why do we just, like, back up here? Like, after the down smash, why do we back up every time?
Interesting.
Like, why? Like, what if we stayed closer? Like, as a treat. Like, because, like, if we stay here, what does she have to get around us?
Well, wow. No, I never thought about that.
Because, like,
and I'm thinking about it. She has to kind of aim her aerials if she wants to hit us. And if we're stationary like this.
Yeah, this is so awkward. Like, her back air hits up here and, like, down here, so that's no good because you'll just cleave through it with your own back air. Like, I feel like the wave dash is a throw here because it just tells her, like, that it just aligns to us for her, like, best move for getting out of this, which is her back air. I think the scary move for you, like, as the Sheik player, is when Samus full hop back airs here.
Right. Okay. Because I'm just giving her stage. Yeah. Like, this is more ambiguous. Would you say that? Like, I could either go to ledge or stay there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, again, she's off stage. Ultimate, like, this is not the, like, heaviest advantage state in the universe. Like, it's closer to juggle state than, like, edgeguarding. But, like, at the end of the day, it is just Sheik who is off stage a little bit, who is moving in this direction, like, with her hit trajectory, and who does not have much air mobility as a character. She has to, like, jump or, like, fall in order to make it back. And, like, where are you? You're in a perfect position to deal with both of those.
Okay.
Like, there is still counterplay from her side. She could fast fall, like, go off here, but then you can grab the edge. And by being closer, that is still good for you. She could turn around Needle Store, like, try to fall to edge like this, but then you being closer is still good, because she can't be attacking when she falls past this point. So then you just, like, F-smash her, F-tilt her, or beam her, or whatever, right? She could double jump up here, and then try to do some wacky stuff. But this is also why, like, attacking her, I think, is quite good. Like, attacking her, if you think that she'll do anything but this double jump, even if she does this double jump, you're still, like, you can still do things. But, like, yeah, it's good, because we just, like, attack this angle, like, from here. So then what does she do about that? She drifts off stage? Okay, we just fall to edge then. Like, we're just in such a good spot here. This is so good.
Can you replay that, like, 2 seconds before you get there, like 2 to 5 seconds?
Yeah, of course. Let's just...
Because I want to... Yep, okay.
See, like, that looks so hard. Same, like, this one makes sense. Like, where you are here makes tons of sense. So I want to ask you, so, like, yeah, let's kind of, like, think about this next position. So this is great positioning. So why are we going for F smash here?
It's just the new option I started doing. I was like, ooh, up angled F smash, something I've been putting into my play. I could have done anything else, but I just got excited there. Yeah, it's up angled does more knockback and it covers, like, that space. So I just thought, hey, like, I would probably get it there.
Gotcha. What if we short up back aired? Because you see what I mean? Like, we're like around here basically, right? Because we're trying to tip it. We're trying to hit her. Like, we kind of jump and do an in-place jump, kind of, like maybe forward a little bit, and we're hitting with. We're trying to hit her leg basically.
Right. Well, yeah. If I do land back here, the knockback would definitely send her off.
And then we
pretty far.
And then we can shoot her, right?
Yeah.
And then she dies?
Pretty much, yes. Okay,
cool. That seems good. Because it involves Sheik dying, so that's probably, like, to your benefit.
Right. Can we go over, I guess, the differences between there and the previous interaction? Is it just that Sheik is just a lot higher, or...
I don't know. Let's find out. So, let's start with this one. So, let's find out when she comes out of stun. Okay, so it's about... where is it? Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so it's there. Cool. So this is where she's come... This is her first frame of action ability. So with this in mind, let's pretend that we are Samus and we stay on stage. So we're going to actually change this up. We're going to use this frame. So let's talk about different options. So what's the first big difference that you see between this position and the other one? We're going to, for the purpose of this, we're going to pretend we didn't move. We're going to say we're here.
Sheik is lower here for sure.
Okay.
And she's also off stage.
So she's off. Yeah, so she's off stage. She has to, like, she's not actually, there's no stage below her. That I would say is a huge deal. So with this in mind, I would also say that where she's drifting is different. She's heading this way. 1 second. Let me just want to check one thing about the schedule, because I do want to finish this, but I want to make sure that I'm not missing anyone.
No, of course.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's underway very, very well. Yeah, so we have 10 minutes to finish this. So thank you, Harsha, for being so accommodating. With that in mind, so she's drifting in this direction, which means that if she just falls naturally, like, can she make it to the edge from here?
Well, she would have to turn around, right? So...
Yeah, so she'd probably have to turn around Needle Store. So she has to fix that. To grab edge, she has to turn around a Needle Store, and then she has to fall in order to do it. Because she can't just, like, do it and grab edge. Like, if she attacks us on the way down, she then has to go below it, and then she has to, like, come back up after, right? So that's so the fact that she's off stage, I think, is actually even a little bit, it actually changes the texture of this situation quite significantly, because she doesn't have a really convenient way to, like, access this. Yeah, that I would say is a pretty big deal. One of the options I'd say is a Sheik that normally would be good here is we'd, like, fade off stage and then, like, kind of, like, come up back with, like, a back air coming up. But because you're so close, you're actually you're able to check that option pretty effectively, because if she drifts out of range of your back air and other threats, then you just have the edge to grab. So I would say that's a pretty big deal. Like, you have access to edge. That is a big boon for you. Yeah, access to edge is a huge boon for you here. Another big pro here is that Sheik, she's higher up, but I feel like she's more vertically aligned with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, Sheik vertical alignment. Because that's really what makes your back air possible, and that's kind of like your most threatening aerial in this kind of position, because it's fairly disjointed, and it also hits really high up, and it also has tons of power. So that's another thing. So this makes Bear good. No, Bear. Because she's close. She's close. So I would say that these are, like, all... So with all these in mind... What type of, how do you foresee, and yeah, double jumping puts her, is awkward. No, double jump awkward for her. So I would say here, like, with this in mind, what do you think how would you, like, go about, like, playing this spot? Like, if you saw this Sheik here, after watching this, what do you think the main, the main things you're looking to do are?
I feel as though I can do a lot of things now.
But what are some of the strongest ones? Like, if you had to pick some of the strongest ones that just jumped, that, like, right now, like, you might refine these choices later, I'd expect you will, but, like, what do you think, like, what are some things that jump to mind?
Just bearing.
Yeah.
See, I wouldn't wave dash away, I would just hold down that position there.
Yeah, so
depending if they keep drifting out, I will hold edge.
Bear, edge grab. What do we feel about, so if we stay below her, like, let's say that she, like, drifts like this, like, she turns around, like, let's say she does something where, actually, no, because none of that matters. Yeah, she doesn't have, like, anything that contests Bear if she, yeah, because I was thinking, like, do we ever forward smash here, but I don't think we do. Like, there's no reason to, for the most part, right?
No, not that I can think of.
Yeah, so Bear and edge grab. This is a very simple situation. Like, and what if she double jumps over us? What do we do then? Like, she's up here, and then she starts to come in like this, kind of.
Well, if she's still facing away, I could just either... I could sure hop and just cover the space, maybe try to bear her from there.
Yeah.
Or try to catch the landing with a dash attack or something.
Well,
But this is a... Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Something cool is if she turns around to face this way, and she's like... And you're over here, because you've, like, been walking away from her. Something cool you can do is you can use that thing that we learned earlier, where you, like, wave dash back, but, like, through her. Like, behind her, and then you down smash her here.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right?
I'm starting to see the vision, yeah, with that. Okay.
Because, yeah, like, we know that she's gone up here, she's double jumped up here, which is a second way that she can wind up in that spot, by the way. So, yeah, then we, like, by being here, we can then back up and do reversal that way. So I would say, like, for the on-stage routes, we have down smash. What I want to point out here is that look at how many of the most, like, I think that these are generally the most powerful, like, some of the most powerful things you can do versus Sheik as a general rule. And look at how many of them are available if we just, like, if we just exert our advantage harder.
Okay.
Which means we must not be afraid of Ninja Lady. She ain't all that. So, in contrast, let's compare to this one. So, are we starting from here? Or are we starting from when she, like, double jumps and you align your body? Like, what did you have in mind?
I think we could start from here, no?
Yeah, let's do it. So let's just make sure that she's out of stun. It'll probably be... Well, actually, this is actually cool, because you're wave dashing while she is still in stun. You actually get out of your wave dash on the frame that she is escaping stun. Like, on the... So we can actually technically start from here, and we haven't lost anything. So, with that in mind, let's talk about this spot. So what do you think... What do you think the dynamic is here?
And yeah, so she's definitely a lot closer to the ledge.
Okay.
But she'd have to, like, turn around anyways to grab ledge if she wanted to. That seems like it's a tight timing.
Yeah, so the fact that she's actually lower off the ground and doesn't have as much vertical knockback still lingering, actually kind of works against her, doesn't it? Because this is like kind of prohibitively. This is a lot more difficult, and it's probably a lot, because of her higher percent, it's probably a lot more susceptible to things like forward tilt, which we've just moved into position, which we've just gained access for by wave dashing over here. Because now it's really easy for us to turn around and, like, just head over. Like, whether it's wave dashing, whether it's dash canceling, we can make this like a no-no zone. So with that in mind, what else is different? She kind of wants to jump here, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And that's what she does. So if we look at the match itself, she goes... Because you threatened that area by moving in there again, just like we said would happen. So then knowing that, she has to move around you. Because if she goes for it anyway, then she just gets hit. So with that in mind, we can kind of proceed knowing that we move here. So let's mark Samus's new location. This would be our second bot. This is our starting point. And then Sheik double jumps up here in response to that. So, actually, it's more vertical. It's more like here. So this is her 2 from 1. So with that in mind, you start walking this way to fix your footing. Like, you're about here now. You're back where you started. And she can't really move as much. So she's still kind of, like, around here. So this would be her 3. Like, her 3 kind of, like, moves her, like, here. And then your 3 is, like, yeah. So with this in mind, what do you think the plays are here in this new situation that's unfolding?
Back air, I feel like back air opens up because they just have to fall into it now.
Yeah, they do. So they're dead. Like, it's actually, you're further in. I forget how fast Samus is sometimes. So you're really more like here on 3. So yeah, like with the alignment, she's just dead to bear. And that's it. Because what does she do about air dodge? She can't do anything because her air dodge just has too much end lag. You'll just, like, follow up on it. And she's really high up because we're swinging with her, like, around this kind of area. So she's still going to go through the landing lag. Once we miss we might even be able to double bear in, like, off the short up, right? So we can just... Right. Yeah, like, she's got nothing. She's Omega dead. So I would say this is actually significantly better than the other position.
It feels so subtle too. I guess I wouldn't have picked that up. Okay.
This is why we hire nerds. So we are at time, but I think that this is good. I think there's a lot for you to chew on here. Is there with our last minute? Is there anything you need from me on, or that you want to ask last second questions before we close this session? Or just I'm curious. I know, how did you find this? I guess.
No, this is great. I have a lot to think about, and I think a lot of this will carry over to other matchups. How I think about other matchups, because I've been having the Sheik issue with also Falco. I've been losing to most Falcos that I've been playing against. And it's a similar issue where I'm just not necessarily thinking of their options. I'm just afraid of what they can do, but in reality, they're probably not doing it anyways. So it's just things to look into, more things to think about.
There's a saying Cactuar told me a long time ago, and it is very true. Peach cannot down smash in the air.
Right.
Right? And you get it, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, we always say, like, don't hold down versus her, but, like, then we get, like, clobbered by her aerials. So it's like, and it's like, why weren't you holding down? And so, well, because it's Peach. And it's like, but she cannot down smash you in the air. So, I understand being afraid of their good tools, but did they even have them in that spot?
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was thinking about in the last minute. I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm pretty much fighting ghosts in my head.
Then I wish you some very successful ghost busting. I'll leave you to it. And I'm going to start my next session with somebody else. But, and if you want to pick up the bulk deal, let me know. But I think that this was a really productive session, and I look forward to working with you, hopefully in the near future.
All right, thank you so much. Hope you have a great day. And if you could just send me your Venmo one more time so I can make sure I send that to you.
Fantastic. I'll do it after the next coaching session. So in an hour or so. Take care,
all right,
okay?
Awesome. All right, have a great day. Take care.